Hi, I'm Ed. I'm the Director of Security here at Harmonic. Today, I'm really excited to show you our latest product, the MCP Gateway, a solution that brings visibility and control to model context protocol servers in your AI tools. If you're enabling AI in your organization and want to do this safely and securely, you're definitely going to want to see this. The MCP Gateway is a purpose-built tool for security teams who want to enable AI adoption safely. It gives you complete visibility into what MCP servers your teams are using and granular control over how they access your data and systems. For those new to MCP, or the Model Context Protocol, this is an open standard that lets AI systems like Claude or ChatGPT connect to external data sources and some specific tools. Think of this as a way for AI to access your GitHub repos, your databases, file systems, and APIs. It's super powerful, but without oversight, it's also a security blind spot. Here's a challenge, right? MCP servers can access sensitive data. They can execute code, they can interact with production systems. So without governance, you're looking at uncontrolled data exfiltration, shadow AI sprawl, potential compliance violations, and quite frankly, no audit trail. Well, that's where the MCP Gateway comes in. Harmonic have built a dashboard that lets you see the MCP servers in use across your organization. So you can see here, here's all the MCP servers that we've got enabled and monitoring in Harmonic. Now you can control them. Here's the Notion MCP server, and I can see all of the options available to me. I can turn on and off access to that MCP server. Maybe you want to provide access to, not use certain tools, and we can give you the really granular level detail on stopping the use of certain specific tools against that MCP server. Now, we can put this into practice, right? Imagine you are a sales leader and you want to build a report from your sales reps about what the latest sales pipeline looks like. Now, you may have a company policy that says all sales pipeline information must stay in the CRM, so HubSpot or Salesforce, and you don't want that data going anywhere else to untrusted third parties. So in this particular case, we're going to ask Claude to read our inbox and to write a summary based on the email from my sales rep and create a Notion page for that. And that's where the MCP Gateway can get in. Now, we're going to give Claude the task, please go and read my inbox, find the email and generate a summary. Now, the MCP Gateway leverages Harmonic's best-in-class data protection small language models to understand the data that's being sent to the MCP server and analyze it to see whether it's sensitive or not. Now, if it is sensitive, that's where we can intercept it. So here, we're going to ask Claude to create the Notion page, and at the point Claude wants to go and create that Notion page, the MCP server sits in the way and says, no, this goes against our policy because we are able to detect with our small language models that there was sales pipeline data in the email. Not only that, we can provide the user with justification as to why that happened and what they can do to avoid having this issue in the future. But quite frankly, we were able to block that behavior from happening in the first place and stop that data going somewhere you didn't want it to go. You can see here that our response back to the LLM gives you policy violation details, a good understanding about what happened and why, and tips about how to avoid that in the future. Now, that's just one use case. There are other use cases as well. Let's take the use case within engineering. Here you can see I've got Cursor open, which is a popular AI IDE, and you can see I've got the Harmonic MCP Gateway installed. Now, the Harmonic MCP Gateway lists the tools that I have access to. So here I have Jira, I've got Notion, and I've got GitHub. Now, let's take the scenario that my engineering manager has given me a task. I've got some API keys and I need to update one password to input those. I might want to create a Jira ticket to do that so I don't forget and add that to my sprint. And because my workflow is currently in Cursor, I'm going to get the Cursor agent to do that for me. So here I can ask Cursor the question. I can say, hi, please create a Jira ticket based on this information from my boss. And as you can see here, there are access keys. Now, access key leakage is a pretty big security threat. We don't want access keys going into Jira. They should really only live in one password. So I'm going to ask Cursor to go and complete that task for me. And just like we saw before, the model is going to understand what needs to happen and build the request to Jira to say, create the ticket with this information in. Well, that's where Harmonic, again, the MCP Gateway, will intercept this and say, well, our small language models have detected access keys in this particular request, and that is a policy violation. That goes against what we're allowing you to do with the MCP tools. As always, we provide the user with a description as to why and tips how to avoid it in the future. But this is where the really interesting thing happens, right? Because we're providing this response back to the model, we can actually influence the model to continue its task, but in a safe manner. You can see here, Cursor is saying, well, I understand the security concern. We actually blocked the request because it was trying to include API keys. And actually what this can do is say, let me create the JIRA ticket without exposing those credentials. And the model is going to redact them for you. So you've been blocked from exposing sensitive information, but not stopped continuing the work that you wanted to do and having that JIRA ticket reminding you to complete that action. Now, this all manifests into an alert page that you see in Harmonic. This is typically what you see against most of our alerts. We get our AI summary that tells you what happened. We provide you the information as to what the request was. Not only do we tell you, though, the MCP server that was used, we can tell you the MCP client that was used as well. So, as you can see, a brand new tool that really gives you control and visibility over MCP in your environment. This is a brand new tool for us. We're really excited to bring it to you and think this is really going to solve some of the security risks associated to MCP. If you'd love to learn more, please do get in touch with Harmonic. We'd love to show you. Thank you.